Ted Buckley, head of U.S. Government Relations and Public Affairs at Shire, is going to speak a little further about the importance, the history of, and the importance of the orphan drug tax credit.
What is the orphan drug tax credit? Well, if you flip back to 1983, to encourage the development of drugs for uncommon diseases and conditions that affected less than 200,000 people in the United States, Congress passed the Orphan Drug Act. The act was intended to offer a number of incentives to biopharmaceutical companies to develop treatments to treat rare diseases. And among these incentives is the tax credit, which is equal to 50% of the clinical development costs. Congress made the tax credit permanent in 1997. And overall, this tax credit lowers the cost of bringing a drug to market by approximately 25%. So that is a substantial incentive. So the next question is, well, did you need it, or why is it needed? And I'll point to a couple statistics that say in the decade before the Orphan Drug Act, only 10 medicines were developed for rare diseases. And this is for a group of diseases where there are over 7,000. You all can do the math, 1 out of 700. This legislation has been extremely successful in bringing biomedical innovation to the rare disease community. Since the enactment a little more than 30 years ago, over 300 treatments have been approved by the FDA for rare diseases, and more than 2,700 potential treatments have entered the research pipeline. Do we still need it? Absolutely. Despite considerable progress, and I would say more than 300 is considerable progress, 95% of the rare diseases, that's approximately 6,800 of conditions and disorders, do not have an FDA-approved treatment. So although they've given this incentive, and the incentive has worked, the need is still great. In this time of fiscal constraint, and when we were talking about this, and when folks were talking about tax reform, I was often asked, why is this special? And you can hear the staffer say, and rightly so, I have a lot of constituents coming into my office talking about why their tax break is important to them, or their deduction is important to them. And our goal is to simplify the tax code, which, by the way, is at least this thick in a book. And simply put, it's the only tax credit I know out there that is designed to save lives. Full stop. Name me another tax credit that is designed to save lives. So where are we now? Well, Chairman Camp's tax reform proposal, the goal was to simplify the tax code and also to lower the corporate tax rate from 35% to 25%. Over a 10-year period, that costs approximately $1 trillion. The Joint Committee on Taxation estimates that repealing the orphan drug tax credit will save the government $9.1 billion. About 0.1% of this. Now, when you're talking $1 trillion that you need to somehow make up if you're going to lower the corporate tax rate, you're quickly finding, and there are some sacred cows out there that nobody will touch, but you're quickly finding that people are looking underneath the sofa cushions for the loose change. And so, you almost have to make the case why a 25.1% corporate tax rate versus a 25.0% tax rate is worth it. I look at it once again and just say very simply, this is a tax credit that saves lives. And with that, I'll yield my time, Mr. Moderator.
Thanks, Ted. Thank you.